Hey, what is up guys? So I got something pretty cool to share with you. It's another FTK, and you know what? It's with TOON, and I was like, how do you FTK with TOONs? That's kind of weird, because like, you normally think like, well, first off, you can't attack, and then second off, you know, all the TOONs, well, most of them at least, have the effect that they can't attack during the same turn. But anyways, this guy over here, Mr. the 6th Septa-G has actually figured it out. You actually abuse Shadow TOON in the deck, so if that was a little bit too fast for you, I know, that was like, what, 10 seconds, right? Anyways, let's go ahead and break it down, and then I'll show you guys the deck profile, and you guys can kind of, you know, see how the deck works, if that was, like I said, again, just a little bit too fast, too furious for you. Alright, so let's go ahead and break it down step by step of what actually is going on. So, it does also involve library, but technically you don't even need library. That's really not the point of the deck. The main point is to actually abuse a card called Shadow TOON. So he gets lucky on this, and he's drawing a bunch of cards, but again, it's pretty much irrelevant. The most important thing is that you just need to actually get out a Malefic Cyber Dragon, which in a TOON deck, you always have the TOON field spell, and you have 3 cards that search that card out, so that's not difficult at all. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and boost this card to actually have it so it has 8,000 attack. I know limiter removal is at 1, but there's multiple ways to probably do this, because you can actually play a Cyber Dragon deck, because it's not that difficult to turn 1 get out a monster that has absurd amounts of attack in a Cyber Dragon deck. But you're actually going to be using this card called She and Spy. So you select one face-up monster on your side of the field to activate this card. Until the end of this turn, shift control of the selected monster to your opponent. So that basically means that you're going to be giving them an 8,000 attacker until the end of the turn. And then you get more counters on this. Again, it's pretty much unnecessary. The main condition of this, hold on, come on. Okay, it's cool. We can still shoot Shadow TOON. That's all that matters. Anyways, so Shadow TOON, it says if you control TOON World, you target one face-up monster opponent controls and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the monster's current attack. You can only activate one per turn. So there's like, the downside doesn't even exist in here. I know some of you guys are like, limiter, wow, you get super sacky. If you've played a chicken race deck, you understand the chicken race pseudo space Reno. It's really fast, and the magical explosion, you only run one of those anyway. So it's like a different way of doing it. There's so many combos coming out of chicken race. And, of course, library is just out of control as well. And it looks like these probably going to get banned. But anyways, let's go ahead and now jump into the deck profile. If some of you guys want to troll around, run the deck yourself and see how it does. Alright, so here is the deck profile. Now, I'm not sure why he's playing 43. To me, when you're playing these OTK, FTK decks, you usually want to be at 40. But I'm going to give it to you guys as is. But thank you, sir, for sending in that sweet replay. But I'm pretty sure, I mean, it's going to be 6,000 if you do it with this, but I'm thinking maybe you're supposed to maybe attack directly. I don't know. All I know is the basic combos of it. I don't know the ins and outs of the deck, but there's also the Malefic, there's a Malefic B-Eyes, Red Eyes B-Dragon, but I think that these are only really used for the draw power, which is the card of Red Jewel. I wish they had a TOON Red Eyes, because that way you can search it out, and that way you can use this card much better. But he also happens to run Sacred Sword of 7 stars, so that actually adds a little bit more utility. There is 3 copies of trade in already, so I'm sure the deck is pretty consistent. But I just don't think that there's a point of certain cards. I think that he would be much better off running 40. That's my personal take on it. I mean, Dark World Dealings is a neg-1, but if you have Library, I guess that kind of helps out with consistency. Or a card like Magical Mallet, because I think the most important thing is to be able to deck them as hard as possible, and then obviously from there, then you go for the Royal Magical Library, then you use all the cards over and over. There is only, what is that, 6 targets with Alert. I think this could potentially be dropped, because you cannot search out, there's nothing to search out with the TOON table contents, unless of course you're playing like one specific one that's, I don't know if there's a TOON that's also a dark. If there's a TOON that's dark that's a trade-in target, I can't think of, well actually, let's go check it out right now. I mean, I didn't bother changing his deck because I wanted to give it to you guys as is, because he was the creator of this. So anyways, let's go to TOON, and let's see if there's any level 8 TOON that is also a dark. There isn't one right now. Perhaps in the future there will be one, but he can TOON table of contents into the Ancient Gear Golem, and then use, of course, trade in on that. So trade in, I think, is probably like one of like the most important cards in here. But yeah, that is the deck. And what's interesting, guys, is he wasn't playing Pseudo Space. Now, I thought I was going to have Pseudo Space for sure. He's running Cup of Ace. I think Pseudo Space would be a much better idea because it adds more consistency, and of course with like this, it's basically like a coin flip. I mean, yeah, of course you get the counter library anyways, but I think it's just way more of a benefit to be able to just not have that potential like randomness to the game. I think it's much better. Well, in any card game there is randomness, but I think it's much more consistent to do it the other way. But anyways, that's the deck. Thank you for sending in that sick replay and showing me something that I got to be ready to combat. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think Chicken Race should be banned? Or I think Library should be banned, but the problem is like you can still do a lot of FTKs and OTKs with Chicken Race and Pseudospace. You don't really need Library. Library just makes it better. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Azneyes signing out.